So I was watching this video a little bit ago, and it was Ancestry. I've seen a lot of them pop up in my recommended because I haven't even watched them. I would do one thing about which continent Russia belongs to, and obviously both countries say it's owned by one of them. But what is it owned by? And personally, I think it belongs to probably Europe. So I'm 100% European. Keep this in mind. And my skin color is pretty bright. The lighting kind of is bad. Like in good lighting, I look very pasty. Like pasty. Like if you put paint on a wall, then put a little tan paint on the wall. Basically, and then covered it in white. 3 coats of white, 1 coat of tan. That's about how white my skin color is. And she had a slightly darker skin color, about 2 things of yellow. And she said that you can predict where somebody is from by their facial features. And I'm going to say this right now. Unless you're talking about hair or eyes, you're wrong. Even that can be wrong. Hair and eyes is a recessive and dominant gene. If you're in a certain area and it's a dominant gene from that area, you're most likely going to have it because it would dominate the other ones. People in Europe have blue eyes, especially from northern and northwestern Europe have blonde hair and blue eyes. And also people from America and Canada and very, very, very far west Russia, they have very white skin and blue eyes and hair because they are from an area which it fit to help them survive. And so what happened was she was being very racist in the video. She did make an apology video, but that came out only a few days ago, November 17th. It is now January. Not too long ago, saying the video I was watching came out in February of last year. Came out in 2018, so. And she wanted to be from, I can't say the name of it, so I'm just going to show you it, of a certain country called, up here, I'm going to be from there. That country name, I cannot say. She also wanted to be from, where's Egypt? Oh, Egypt, yeah. She wanted to be from Egypt. Now, see, I am from this area, 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 very low this area, kind of this area, a bit of that area. So very, very, very European. I am the basic European person. And she was too, but she thought that she was not. Actually, let me see if it is racist. Is it racist to assume a person's race by their facial features? So I had to think about how to spell that. That is racist. Just saying the other race effect. Well, they all look alike. One might assume that person to be a closet. Okay, this is made by a British person because bigot is a British swear word. Be a closet word. But in all likelihood, oh my god, I got mad. Okay, never mind. I can't scroll down. It's messing with it. Oh, it's Forbes. Of course it is. Okay. Likely it is simple being on. My god, it's laggy. and says they all look alike. But in all likelihood, he's simply being he's like not they. He's. They are simply being honest about a well-known limitation that plagues people of all colors. We humans are notoriously poor at distinguishing between the members of race different from our own. Sorry, I'm a bit dyslexic. And if you don't know, that's a European trait. It's even better to what I was saying. But yeah, if you're like a lot of people from like Europe and not Europe, a lot of people from southern of America think that like Louisiana think that Asian people look alike, and that is horrible to say, because if you look at the difference between like a Turkish person, they look slightly like they look a little bit Hispanic, but they're not. They have like the thing, they're Middle Eastern. But if you compare that to somebody from is Turkey part of Asia? Okay, I don't know, but like, what's a good area? What's a good area that I could represent this fact with? Russian person. If you search up Russian person, they are... Okay, I just saw Joseph Stalin, and my boy's looking pretty. They are brown to blue eyes with blonde hair. But now if you search like Chinese person, for example, they have more slanted eyes. And this isn't being racist. It is literally because of the climate. If they have these, I see Winnie the Pooh there. I see Xi Jinping. I'm going to get blocked there, but who cares? But like, they have very slanted eyes if they're from very central China. But Russian people have more of the European look because they don't need to have it. People in China have the slanted eyes because of the temperature of the area. And the mist of like the forests, it builds up a lot of mist. So if that gets in their eyes, it's not gonna help them. So they have thinner eye sockets so they can not have infections in their eyes. But Russian people, they don't have to deal with this. They just have to deal with very high climate. And this high climate does not affect them as so to, another person from Russia. Like another country, but if you compare Mongolians, they do kind of look similar. There is obviously a difference, but they are similar. Mongolian people have a bit more of the slanted eyes because they have even more mist. They don't have that, but they have harsh winds. So does China. In the bamboo forests, they have harsh winds, blows in their eyes. Now you see the problem. Now let me tell you this. Mongolia is a giant desert in the center of it called the Gobi Desert. And you know what happens when you mix high winds with sand? Get sand in your eyes. Do you know how irritating sand in your eyes is? If you put 8 pounds of ice... You put 8 pounds of it on your eyes, you will go blind forever. If you put about an ounce, you will have very irritated eyes. They will go bloodshot, and that's not a good thing because it's using up blood in your eyes, so they have adapted to have slanted their eyes for it to not get sand in their eyes. It's not a racist statement, it is factual evidence. And if you don't know, she was being very racist in this thing. She was saying that if you have a certain feature in your face, you're from a certain area. And that is completely false. Like, you can be from Europe and have all these different features. Like, it's anywhere can have it. Like Mongolia, for example, there's probably deformities, or not deformities, but people born in more like less deserted areas of it that have more open eyes because they don't need to have the squint eyes to avoid it because there's no sand blowing in their face. But in Mongolia deserts, so rural areas, it is very windy and will blow their eyes and hurt them and irritate them. And the Gobi Desert is basically a much windier and more fossil-bound version of the Savannah Desert. It has a lot of fossils, and do you know what happens when you repeatedly push sand against fossils? It becomes slightly smaller and smaller and smaller till it's dust. And would you like 75-million-year-old dust in your eyes? Now, that is like the worst thing to happen because that would kill you. It would not kill you immediately, but to have that in your eyes, it would be like having cyanide just boop behind your eye. Like liquid cyanide just... It's not good. This video will probably not be liked as much as most of my videos, but this is more of a controversial topic. And I'm sitting in a room at 12:49 a.m. Wait, apparently I'm not supposed to record over 15 minutes because Google is weird like that sometimes. But it's very racist to say that certain people look a certain way because they think that the features of humans are that way. No. Neanderthals, the first species of hominid, which is basically like Homo sapiens, Homo erectus, the ancestors of both Homo sapiens and Neanderthals. Neanderthals, just search an image. They have like really squinted eyes, big noses, and a lot of Europeans have blood in descent of these things because interbreeding between humans and them. See, these things are the first to reach there, and does any person, like there's a small percentage that you know a person who has these huge brows that just cover their eyes, and just like it's having a small break in your eyes. It's like doing this. They have huge brows they're stronger than us. And do you see Europeans that are strong? No, well, yeah, some Europeans are strong. Some are not. Actually, a lot are not strong. I'm not from Europe, but I know that a lot of people are, and they... yeah. Also, some fun facts. These are just fun facts at the end of the videos. I'll put one at the end of every video now. Humans from Europe are more likely to have blood clots. Because remember, in breeding with Neanderthals had larger veins. So clots of blood could go through them without being very dangerous. But humans... when we interbred, our veins stayed the same size, and then our like because blood clots happen, and it's like I actually have one right now on my hand, and it stings really bad if I do this too much, because it's a lot of blood cells that are just clogging. Like imagine, like there's a vessel this big, and then clogs it because it can't get through it. It clogs the hole to the blood vessel, Like, it's, imagine wearing a rubber band around your hand and then having try and have blood slowly boop, boop. Yeah, it doesn't work. And Europeans have that. Goodbye. Adios, amigos.